In this video, let's finish off question 5 and let's actually find out our inverse. So we know that f of x equals to that logarithm. Well, instead of f of x, let's just write it as y. Y equals to the logarithm of the x plus 1 divided by x squared minus 1. X squared minus 1. And I'm keeping this domain and range of the original because it is wise to remember that the domain of the original is the range of our inverse. We will need that because it's asked in the question. And this is the domain of the inverse, the range of the original. So we actually have already half of the answer. That's part of the question, meaning we have part of the answer. Now all we have to do is to find out x in terms of y. Now remember, we have logarithm. Whenever we have logarithm, we'll use the e because of the logarithmic property. So we know that e to the power of ln of x equals to just x. So let's take e of both sides. Let's take e to the power of y equals to e to the power of ln of x plus 1 divided by x squared minus 1. Well, what does that mean? That means that we have now e to the power of y equals to the power of y equals to x plus 1 divided by x squared minus 1. Okay, what is x squared minus 1? X squared minus 1, based on a property of multiplication of product rules, is equal to x plus 1 times x minus 1. We could write it like that. And why do we do it? Well, because we want to cancel out something. We want to cancel out x plus 1 and x plus 1. X plus 1 and x plus 1. So we're left with 1 and 1. Which means that e to the power of y equals to 1 divided by x minus 1. Okay. Now what is 1 divided by x minus 1? Let's go a bit lower. 1 divided by x minus 1. Well, we could write it as an inverse. Remember, we could write it that it's x to the power x minus 1 to the power of minus 1. And why do we do that? Well, because now this is to a negative power and we want to have only x on one side. So we want to have only x minus 1 here, so we can get rid of the minus 1. Meaning that we want the right side of the equation to be to the power of 1. If you want this to be to the power of 1, we could just take this whole thing to the power of minus 1 again. Because remember, we would just multiply minus 1 with minus 1 and that would give us the positive power that we're looking on. But remember that this is an equation. This is an equation, so anything that we do on the right side, we must do on the left side as well. So we would take e to the power y to the power minus 1 as well. Now, where do we go from here? E to the power y to the power minus 1, well, we raise two powers, which means that we will multiply the powers. We will have e to the power of minus y equals to x minus 1, to which power we said? To the power of 1. Well, x minus 1 to the power of 1 is just x minus 1. And what is our goal here? We want to write x on one side only. So if we leave x on one side only and we take the minus 1 over here, it becomes a plus 1. So we would have e to the power of minus y plus 1. And that's it. This is our inverse. This is what we were looking for. And what's our domain and our range? Well, we gave it already in the beginning of the question. It's over here. This is the domain of our inverse from negative infinity to infinity. And this is the range of our inverse from 1 to infinity. And that's it. We are done.